Hey there folks, Rel here. In the background you'll see some PlanetSide 2 gameplay, but this is going to be the first of a series dedicated to becoming successful as a YouTuber. Not from a technical standpoint, but hopefully geared toward answering the questions people tend to have about an industry that is now extremely crowded, competitive, but a whole lot of fun. This first episode is partly an introduction, but we're also going to be talking about whether or not YouTube is right for you as an individual from a career standpoint. That said, my name is Rel. I think you're all pretty much aware of that, and I have a relatively small channel of over 15,000 subscribers at the time of making this video. I do reviews, guides, tips, tricks, etc., primarily on PlanetSide 2, but I do touch upon other games as well, especially when I talk about the more philosophical elements of gaming and how they connect to life. And that's honestly my favorite part of making videos, is exploring those topics. But I've been actively commentating since late September to early November-ish of last year, so about 10 months at the time of releasing this video. And honestly, that's not really a whole lot of time spent in the grand scheme of things. I started out with only a handful of subscribers, just a few friends and a few random people. Then I started posting videos about Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, which got me a small base of subscribers, but that game was it was mostly dead. It was covered by a lot of people already, so I shifted to PlanetSide 2 when the game came out, and as most of you already know, this is where I've really dug my heels in and started cultivating an audience. So I'm not a guy with hundreds of thousands of subscribers like LevelCap, Drifter, PewDiePie, or CNanners, but that's kind of why I feel confident talking to you all about this. I'm still in the trenches, I'm still making mistakes, and I'm still carving out my career with virtual blood, sweat, and forum trolling. Because we all have to start somewhere, and just like anyone who's interested in starting their own channel up from scratch, or those of you who already have channels that just aren't going anywhere, I've been there, I'm still kind of there, and I'd like to share what little I know to hopefully help you find even a scrap of success.
Thanks, so nice.
So my dad once told me that your hobby becomes your business once you start spending more time on your hobby than you do with your day job. And my father has built up and owned many businesses starting from scratch, and trust me when I say that I've felt the repercussions of a father who works non-stop to turn his hobbies into full-on careers. Of course, the internet is a much different game than building a brick-and-mortar store from the ground up, or starting a freelancing business and trying to find clients. Much different, but in a lot of ways, it's for the better. How successful you become is heavily correlated to how much time and work you're willing to put in. So if you want a too long didn't watch summary of this entire episode, I'll just say that it is your choice as to how successful you want to actually become. Are you going to put in the hard work and make YouTube a career, or are you just going to work occasionally, when you feel like it, and keep YouTube as a hobby and a pastime? Those are strictly your decisions, and neither one of them are a bad choice. But if you're looking for the career side of things, to give you an estimate of just how much time YouTube can take, I'd venture a guess that to put out a 15-minute review or a guide on a specific topic, it's going to take me around 8 to 12 hours in total. And that doesn't completely account for all the time that it takes me to earn the certifications, to gain a general knowledge and understanding of what I'm reviewing, to organize people to help me test things, and to render things or re-render them when they fail. And that's being pretty generous overall. But if you don't want to take my word for it, then here's another example. Drifter is a YouTuber who primarily covers Call of Duty, and he has more than 450,000 subscribers. He supports himself from YouTube income, and he also has sponsorships with G Fuel, Elgato, Scuff, that sort of thing. But all of that kind of comes with the territory when you have a channel that is that popular. The kicker is that Drifter has put out more than 830 videos within the past 2 to 2.5 years, I think, and 90 to 95% of those videos are solid reviews, analysis, guides, previews, etc. They're not fluff. So 830 videos in 2 years and some change. There's only 365 days in a year if you're not counting leap years. So really this is just a blatant example of hard work and dedication. Now you may be thinking to yourself, well, if I was making money from playing video games, then I'd make videos every day too. And this is exactly the wrong way to think about it. It's completely backwards. YouTube is a labor of love. You have to love what you do, you have to share that with other people, and then the money comes, not the other way around. Before Drifter was super successful, he was just a young guy, still is a young guy, who was invited to join a movie making clan with his buddies. So he was in college pursuing his master's degree in business administration when he started making machinima videos because he loves telling stories, and YouTube is an excellent platform to do just that. So he kept making these videos, he kept sharing his stories, and eventually, key word there, he noticed that he was earning 75% of what his starting wages would have been with a degree. So 75% of what he would be making after he graduated and found an entry-level position doing whatever it is he wanted to do. And so that was kind of the turning point. At that point, he made a decision, he made a choice that he admits was pretty risky. He decided to go full-time with YouTube, and he has been wildly successful since then. Now, there are a number of factors that got him to where he is today. One of which is that Call of Duty in general is just an extremely popular franchise. Huge franchise, huge audience that want to watch PlanetSide 2 videos. Another is that he started commentating back when it was just starting to become popular. So that's about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's a very recent memory. But those factors would mean absolutely nothing if he wasn't putting out content consistently, if he wasn't constantly improving his channel, keeping his content smart and unbiased, being original, listening and responding to his audience, in other words, just working extremely hard. And I can say this with accuracy because there are many other commentators that came onto the scene at the same time, put out content about the same game, and ultimately didn't achieve the success that Drifter has. And it might sound cliche, but you get out what you put into it. Especially now that regardless of what game you go to, there's going to be commentators already covering it. Most of the time, people more established than yourself, so you're going to have to work extra hard to even get on the radar. If you don't have the time, you can't make the time, don't see yourself cranking out content once every 2 or 3 days, or just want to do YouTube so that you can start raking in massive amounts of money, then YouTubing as a career is not a good decision for you at this point in your life. Later episodes are going to go over many things like finding your niche, getting into the right market, branding, finding subscribers, partnerships, all sorts of fun stuff, but this is just the first video in the series. If this video has been interesting, helpful, or entertaining, please feel free to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the channel. And I would like to know what questions in particular you have about YouTube on the whole so that I can tailor these videos more toward you and the questions, concerns, frustrations that you might have. So definitely leave a comment below if you have something to share. Thanks very much, folks. We're all signing off.